What is diabetes? Put simply, when your body can't convert the food you eat into the nourishment you need to live, you may have diabetes. Here's how it works. You eat. The food you eat may contain protein, starches, or carbohydrates. If your body's working correctly, the food is converted into glucose, a form of sugar that feeds your cells and gives you energy. For that to happen, the sugar needs the help of something called insulin. If your body can't make insulin, or can't make enough insulin, you may have diabetes. No insulin, no energy. Worse yet, the sugar in the form of glucose builds up in the bloodstream, causing other very unpleasant things to happen. What will happen? That depends on the type of diabetes a person has. Oh yeah, there's more than one kind or type of diabetes. Let's take a minute to discuss type 1 diabetes. This is often called juvenile diabetes because it often starts in childhood or early adulthood. However, it can strike a person at any age, so now it's more correctly called type 1 diabetes. As I said, the problem for a person with diabetes is missing insulin, the stuff the body needs to get the food into the cells. Insulin is a hormone that's produced by the pancreas. Where's your pancreas? It's right here, in your abdomen. In a person with type 1 diabetes, the pancreas stops making insulin. No one really knows why, and so far there's no cure. Since a person can't live without insulin, a person with type 1 diabetes must inject insulin into the body so that the food energy, the glucose, can enter the cells. Insulin is the key that unlocks the door to the cell to let the sugar in. The amount of insulin a person needs depends on the person's metabolism, size, activity level, and so on. Unfortunately, the only way to get this insulin into the body is through an injection. How much do you enjoy getting a needle at the doctor's office? People with type 1 diabetes must give themselves a shot almost every time they eat. They also need to pick their fingers at least 4 times a day and test their own blood to be sure they have enough sugar to live, but not too much. Too much sugar in the blood causes damage to the other parts of the body. If the sugar builds up too much, a person could die. There is good news for people with type 1 diabetes. People with type 1 diabetes can do the same things any other person can do, as long as they eat enough food for energy and inject enough insulin to let the food do its job, and have a snack if they start to feel their blood sugar getting low. People with diabetes can often feel when their blood sugar is getting low, when they have symptoms like shaking, sweating, tiredness and weakness, sometimes unclear thinking or a headache, double or blurry vision. Sometimes they get aggressive, and sometimes they just start cranky. If a person with diabetes loses consciousness, do not try to feed the person anything, and under no circumstances should you inject this person with insulin. Call 911 and get help. Type 1 diabetes often strikes quickly and without warning, so you should know the symptoms. If you notice that you're constantly thirsty and constantly peeing, tell your parents and your doctor as soon as possible. Other symptoms include feeling tired all the time, having blurry vision, or if you're losing weight without trying, tell your parents and your doctor as soon as you can. Now that we know a little about type 1 diabetes, let's learn a little about type 2. Like type 1 diabetes, type 2 can sometimes strike for no reason. But more often than not, type 2 diabetes can be caused by an unhealthy lifestyle. Let me repeat that last statement. Type 2 diabetes can be caused by an unhealthy lifestyle. Remember the good news I mentioned about type 1 diabetes? The good news about type 2 is even better. If caught in time, people with type 2 diabetes can reverse the effects by making changes in their physical condition and lifestyle. Why? Because in a person with type 2 diabetes, the pancreas is still working. But, for some reason, it can't make enough insulin. There can also be other reasons for type 2, but we're going to focus on the pancreas. When a person's pancreas can no longer produce enough insulin to unlock the blood cells, the unused glucose builds up in the blood and the symptoms of diabetes begin to appear. Unfortunately, in type 2 diabetes, sometimes this takes a long time, and by the time the symptoms show up, the body has already been damaged. So let me get back to the good news part. For many people, a few simple changes to your daily routine can help control and prevent type 2 diabetes. Here's the prescription.
Eat right and exercise.
Your pancreas can only carry so much weight. Well, that's diabetes in a nutshell. Oh, I almost forgot. There's another form of diabetes called gestational diabetes. You can avoid this one easily.
Don't get pregnant.
No, really. Sometimes when women are pregnant, they also develop symptoms of diabetes. But this is a discussion you should have with your parents and your healthcare provider. If you have any other questions, ask your school nurse or your health teacher for more information. You will also find a link on the Northwest homepage to online information about diabetes. Thanks for listening, and
stay healthy.